2 guys made this game in 2 months. Now they earn $1 million a day. Surprised. Picture this: 2 indie developers working alone, no publisher, no marketing budget, no big studio behind them, finish a video game in exactly 2 months. 2 months. For context, most major games take years, sometimes a decade, and this scrappy little 2-month project didn't just do okay. It sold 10 million copies in about 2 weeks and started printing roughly $1 million a day for its creators. Excited. This is the completely bizarre, borderline unbelievable true story of Meccha Chameleon, the game nobody saw coming. Hey friends, welcome back. Get comfortable. Let's get into it. So here's the setup. The game is called Meccha Chameleon, made by 2 Japanese developers going by the names Lemurion and Haganero. The concept is almost stupidly simple on paper. You're a plain white character, split into 2 teams, hiders and seekers. If you're a hider, you have to paint your entire body to blend into the environment around you, like an actual chameleon. Hide near a wooden fence, paint yourself brown with wood grain. Standing next to a pile of colorful party decorations, you better get creative with your color palette. If you're a seeker, you're wandering around the map trying to spot the one slightly off pattern among 100 normal objects. That's it. That's the entire game. No complicated lore, no massive skill tree, no 40-hour campaign. Just paint yourself, hide, and hope nobody notices you. And here's the thing. This idea sounds almost too simple to work, like something you'd sketch on a napkin and immediately dismiss as, probably not enough there, except it turned into one of the fastest-selling indie games in recent memory, and the story of how that happened is honestly kind of wild. The game released on Steam on June 10th, 2026. Within 5 days, it had already sold 2 million copies. 2 million. In 5 days, for a game made by essentially 2 people with zero marketing spend. By June 17th, just 1 week after launch, it had climbed to the #1 spot in Steam's entire sales charts, beating out massive AAA titles with huge studio budgets behind them. By June 22nd, less than 2 weeks in, it crossed 7 million copies sold, and by June 26th, it blew past the 10 million copy mark entirely. Let's talk numbers for a second, because this is where it gets genuinely absurd. Reports at the time calculated that based on the game's incredibly short 2-month development cycle, the creators had effectively earned somewhere around $1 million for every single day they spent building the thing. $1 million per day of work. If you did the math on a normal salary, that's the kind of number that doesn't even feel real. Most indie developers spend years scraping by, hoping their passion project breaks even. These 2 guys accidentally built a money printing machine in under 60 days. So how did they pull this off? According to interviews with the developers, the secret wasn't some genius 12-step business strategy. It was almost the opposite. They've openly said their approach was essentially, make it exist first, perfect it later. Meaning instead of obsessing over polish and perfect mechanics before release, they leaned heavily on reusing existing assets, kept the core concept dead simple, and just got the thing out into the world fast. No years-long development hell, no crunch culture horror stories, just 2 people building something scrappy and shipping it while it was still a little rough around the edges. And the rough edges are genuinely still there, if you read player reviews. People have pointed out the painting controls can feel a little imprecise, the servers occasionally have issues with public lobbies, and there have even been complaints about toxic behavior in unmoderated chat rooms. This is not some flawlessly polished masterpiece. It's a scrappy, weird, slightly janky game that happened to hit on something people couldn't stop playing anyway. Because here's what actually made it spread. It is an absolute machine for content creation. Think about it from a viewer's perspective. Watching someone paint themselves into a wall, freeze completely still, and then watch a seeker walk right past them without noticing is inherently funny. It's the kind of clip that's practically designed to go viral on clip compilations, stream highlights, and short-form video. Streamers picked it up almost instantly because it's chaotic, visual, and works great with viewer participation. You can host public lobbies and let your entire audience jump in and hide or seek together. The developers even built streaming support directly into the game, encouraging creators to include the game's name in video titles. That's not an accident. That's a deliberate bet that word of mouth and streaming clips would do the marketing job that a traditional ad budget usually does. And it worked better than anyone could have predicted. There's also something almost poetic about the game's popularity, considering how it plays with disguise and deception, which, if you think about it, is basically the oldest form of comedy there is. Someone hiding in plain sight, someone else looking directly at them and not realizing it, and then that huge, satisfying reveal moment when they finally get caught. It's the same comedic bones as a magic trick or a prank video, just turned into an interactive multiplayer game. Simple, universally funny, and endlessly repeatable, because no two hiding spots or paint jobs ever look the same. The game kept the momentum going too, instead of just riding one viral wave and fading out. The developers pushed out updates almost immediately after launch, adding new modes like a reverse chicken race variant, adding the ability to create decoy clones of yourself to confuse seekers, expanding compatibility so people could play on Mac and non-gaming PCs through cloud streaming services, and continuing to patch bugs and translation errors as the player base exploded internationally. For two developers, this pace of updates on top of an already record-breaking launch is honestly kind of insane to think about. What's maybe the most surprising part of this whole story is just how unglamorous the beginning was. This wasn't a massive studio with a marketing department mapping out a viral strategy for 18 months. This was two people working fast, keeping the idea simple, leaning on a genuinely funny and visual core mechanic, and letting the internet do the rest. No influencer campaign, no $1 million ad buy, no years of hype building, just a weird little painting hide-and-seek game that happened to be exactly the kind of chaotic, shareable content the internet was hungry for at exactly the right moment. So the next time someone tells you that you need years and millions of dollars to make something people love, remember two guys in Japan who built a hide-and-seek game about painting yourself to look like a wall, shipped it in 2 months, and ended up outselling games that took a decade and 100 times the budget to build. That's the story for you today, friends. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let me know in the comments if you've played Meccha Chameleon yourself, and tell me what other viral gaming stories you want me to dig into next. I'll see you soon.